Okay, that's going to be condo, of course. Still have to cut the openings. Probably it makes sense for this to be open so that your cats can sit inside and also look out. But I think maybe what we'll do is we'll do the interior in white, or yeah, probably in white, or maybe a light yellow, so that it looks like it's lit when they're not sitting inside. And maybe what we can even do is make a little door with a hinge here, so that when it's closed, it looks like a light. And then maybe you can open it, towards the inside, and that way there, you can choose whether you want it to be exposed or not exposed. Of course, there will be a condo. This is, of course, too long, but I'll mess with that in a minute. But, this is just the model. And maybe we'll have the back open so that they can get inside, and it just kind of a tube that they lay in. And of course, I still have to create the lower portion, which is going to be a tripod. And then I have to create the theater here. And of course, the director's chair is going to go here. Now, I think we may have to actually go higher on the thing, because everything got moved down a little bit, because this size needed to be a certain size, and same with that. So at this point, I think we're at 6 foot. Actually, this height is 6.5 feet. So I think we're ultimately maybe going to want to go as high as 7 feet on this guy. We will see, but it depends on the size of the director's chair here. When I create that, then we'll kind of know where we're at on that. And this only looks green because I've got this in wireframe mode. So if I get rid of this, boom, see that? Okay, but that makes it a little more difficult to see. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this one, and that takes away the back, and that gives you more of a bird's. And of course, this blue is temporary. I only did that because it was just temporary. I'm just trying to block this thing out. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the gray color. Okay, now that's gray. Okay. So now this that accidentally got moved. Here, let me take that in the front view mode. For centered, but I already have a stencil for this, but I'm going to have to make a bigger one probably, unless I go with the same size, which is I forget exactly, but it was about 18 inches maybe. Here, this grid's getting in my way, so I'm going to get rid of the grid. Let's see. Grids. Alright, this got to be done in this panel here. Views, grids. Where's the grids? I can't find it too well here. Anyway, alright, I'll just function with the grid on. But I really would like to be able to have this rotator on the model properly. So I'll do it in perspective. Alright, so don't forget, we're going to have our opening here. We're going to have our film ribbon coming out. There's going to be the tripod for the camera. And then we'll probably, we're going to have an opening on this side and this side of the popcorn. Of course, this will have stripes. This will probably even have inlay work a little bit, just a wee bit perhaps, for the texture of the popcorn, but that's all going to be, done in a thick carpet, so I can really sculpture that and make it look three-dimensionally like a tub of popcorn. And this right here is just warping and stretching because this is just very simply textured, and the actual clap portion of the slate isn't done yet, so you'll see that streaking as well over there. So I'm going to get this a little further along. So far it's looking pretty good, and these are actually pretty good proportions. This shape here, for example, let me ungroup that. Okay, this one right here, let me bring up the measurement. This is in the actual virtual scale. Oh, that's something else. This is this scale units. All right, so we got X at 12, Y at 11, and Z at 10. So Z is our vertical, Z is our front to back. So from side to side, I believe it's Z, depth wise, and our Y is our side to side. So that is currently at 12 inches, so about a foot. That's a little small, but we have confines that we have to work within. So that's going to be a rather small little condo, but it will be big enough for them to be inside. I'm thinking we might want to have a window in the front, although that may, mess with our design just a wee bit. At least you'll be able to see your cats, and they'll be able to drop right out of there. Now this size here, I'm probably going to want to scale that up a bit. Get rid of the taper just a little bit. For example, like if I go into that right now, let's see, I'll go into, that's the wrong tab. I've already got it as a mesh. So let's go ahead and select these points. Here, let me take it into wireframe. Okay, now I just scale that with the S command, and oops, it's got a 3D snap right now. Alright, so we're going to scale it. Oh, wow, why is it doing this? Oh, that's one. Alright, so scale. What the heck, man? This is annoying. Alright, scale. Oh, scale is R, that's why. Alright, so let's do it like that, let's say. That way there it's got a decent diameter here. So let's take that back into smooth mode. Of course, this will be a tube. And actually, what I can do, watch this. Just for the sake of doing so, I can do, here, I'm going to put back in move mode, and I can do a bevel. Watch this. I think this kind of works like Maya. Let's see, if I do extrude edge. No, I want to extrude face. Extrude face. Extrude polygons. Alright, so watch this. Okay, I want to see this in a lit wireframe mode though. So I'm going to undo that and go into wireframe, smooth wireframe, edge faces. Okay, now we'll be able to see something happen. Okay, so I'm going to take that out just a wee bit, and now in a wee bit. Oh, I don't have it set on bevel. Alright, this doesn't work quite the same way as Maya does, so we're going to have to do it, let's see, I don't know if it's in this dialog here, so I'm going to have to do it here. In Maya there's all kinds of marking menus and awesome stuff like that. It's been a while since I've used it, so I have to go back and relearn some of it. Let's see now. Wow, it's hard to find this stuff sometimes. Yeah, I wish I was working in Maya, to be honest. Alright, so bevel polygon, that's what we want. Alright, so now, let's see, let's take that. No, you don't want that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that's going to simulate that. And now, let's take that in, and I'll take it back all the way, and then scale down. Alright, now we have our illusion of our actual piece, and then imagine that this is a hole. So they would at least be able to look out of it. Maybe not come out of it, but at least they would be able to look out of it. And you can like play with a feather or something, or some of the other cats can be up on top of here, and playing with the other cat. Now maybe I'll be able to make that big enough for your cats to go in and out. Depends how big they are. If they're small cats, then there's a good chance that they'll be able to. So I'm going to go ahead and save that because I did make the cool change. Now this guy, hold on, I'm still in like subdivision mode. So there, now I'm out of there. So now I can select this. Now, don't forget, I have to decide where all of the openings should be, and that'll happen a little bit later. I need to texture everything better, build some more digital model action, and this is probably going to have to all move up because the space. Let's see if I go into creating a spline, for example, which is just a line, and set a 3D snap. I can say stop, so start to there, and go to the bottom of this. Okay. Now my vertical height on this, which is Y, is 9 inches only. So we want to definitely have a lot more than 9 inches for the height on our Chinese theater. So I'm thinking we're going to probably want about 14 to 15 inches for the height on the condo. So basically what that means is, let's say if I create a box, and I'll see if I can align that right to there. Quick align, no objects are selected. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and a box, and let's work right off of this, and we'll go up to that point. Actually, we'll just stop it there. Now I'll go ahead and type in, oh, look at that, it's almost 15. That's exactly what I was looking for. So let's just make that 15 for the hell of it. So now in a front view mode, let's say front view, let's turn this to front, and bring that up. Basically we want this guy, here I need to get this snap off of here. That pretty much means that all this will have to go up, except for that pole. Oh, wrong key. Except for the pole, and now everything needs to go up to that height. Alright, so now we're at where we want to be. Now that's not leaving us a whole lot of room for our Hollywood sign. So, in order to compensate, I'm going to need to unhide that item. Here, let's go into this menu here. And I'm looking for, oh, I don't remember what I called that. I should have named it better, but I didn't. So I'm just going to unhide all. Where are you at? Unhide all. Okay. Now these things we don't need unhidden. So hide selected. All right. Now, also this stupid camera stuff. Hide. I like to just hide by hit. So. Let's see. Hide selection. Right. So, yeah, this is probably going to want to go up a bit. So, I'm going to go ahead and select points and just move them up. If I can see my tripod, where is the tripod? Huh. That's odd. Move. Thank you. What the hell? Oh, I had a tripod front. It's just not in the right mode. What is going on? I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, I'll just set it for... Wait, what the hell? Everything's not where it's supposed to be. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can hit shift. Wow, it's just not working. I don't understand this. Why is this happening? I don't think I have it frozen. Oh, it's because I'm in that. Cancel. Alright, we have to be an editable mesh. Stop! We have to be an editable mesh. Boom. Now it'll work. I don't know why it's there. Alright, now I'm looking here, and I'm seeing that currently it's at 75, which is 6 foot 3 inches. So in order for that to properly hold our Hollywood sign well, we're going to want it about yay high, I think. And what that brings us is 81 inches. So let's make it 80 inches. And that would be 6 foot 8. Alright, there we are. We're at 6 foot 8. So, that's where we're at. And I know you got nice high ceilings, so that should be fine. And there will be no additional charge for that, of course. So that gives us the block out for our theater. I'm going to go ahead and make that see-through. And so that's where that'll go, of course. But here, I'm going to take it out of expert mode. And our width, we don't want it 29. Let's say we're going to go with about that. In fact, we're going to have the director's chair sort of in front of it, maybe a little bit. So But I'm thinking that our theater is going to be about like this. So at that, we're about 22 inches there. And I'm going to go ahead and take, oops, 22, and go ahead and take that, into our top view mode, and where we want this to actually be. First off, we don't want it only that small that way. I'm guessing we're going to probably go with about 20 inches, let's say. That seems about right. Let's see. I'm going to take this into my side view as well. Alright, so let's say hypothetically we want that on the front of that post, which I could just build it in very easily, which makes sense. And that way there it'll be locked, and that'll really make that popcorn very strong. That's a good idea. So let's say hypothetically we're going to have the theater go almost to the back of this thing, but we'll make it so that there's space for your cats to walk behind the theater, right on the base, and you'll be able to vacuum back there. All right. So that said, here's our proportions now. So we're pretty good there, and we're not even intersecting this megaphone, which is great. So imagine that this is the proportions of the theater. And don't forget, there's the facade in the front, and then it sort of swings back, and then there's the interior of the actual beautiful gate system. But we're going to want to bring that forward, I think. So let's go ahead and move this forward a bit, just a wee. I need to set this on local, or view. Grid, screen view. Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's pretend that's going to be way up front like that. All right. That gives us a little more room to play with here. And I'm going to go ahead and convert that. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to make that length, which is our front to back. I'm going to make that 24. All right. And now we'll go ahead and see how much space is back there real quick. I mean, we'll see it better later, but I'm going to go about like that right now. So that intersects that, so we don't like that. So let's see what happens if we bring it just like so. Alright, that's still enough room for them to walk back there. And they don't really need to be able to do that because they could just jump over top and come back through. So we might want to just have our theater just connect straight to the back. We'll see. But that's a pretty good, size for our theater at this point. And we'll just see how it goes when I'm starting to build that even more. But this is not really giving us a good space for our chair, and that's a problem. So we're going to have to, we'll see as I go once I build the model of the chair where we're at on that. But so far so good. We've got a really good piece moving here. Once I build the tripod for this camera, we'll be even further along with that. I'll get these blocked out. I'll make the hole for that. We'll have the hole on the other side so that we know where your cats are looking out the window over here. It's going to be this whole thing like we discussed pretty much, all the way to the bottom. So it's going to be wide open on this side. And then, of course, they will be able to jump up top there. Let's see. See, at this point, there's just not a lot of space in between all these things, which is not really something I'm liking a whole lot. So probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to have definitely an opening on top here and an opening on top there, like in the corners. This corner, maybe the inside corner. That way, there they could look out the window from the top of this deck, and that will make it so that they. Probably what I'll end up doing is putting a hole in the top of this thing, maybe even. But look at this. They'll be able to just jump right across. I mean, this is a very small distance here. So, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and, in order to measure that properly, I'm going to go into building a line. Where is my line? And go ahead and do that to that. Now, if I look at my X, that's 15 inches. So they could definitely jump from there to there without any trouble, because we're talking about this kind of distance. No problem at all. And they could also, of course, just step across this under there. So no worries. they're going to be able to navigate this thing beautifully. So they'll be able to jump from there to there, or step across here and go inside there, then come through. It's not going to be so much that they're able to go from this to this very well. So probably what I'll end up having to do, and here, let me just go ahead and hide this guy, so you can see the back side of what's going on there. And that too needs to be hidden. You know what? I know this is like a waste of time while we're on video here. Oops. But also, I'm going to go ahead and name this. So that is now going to be known as true back panel. Oh, the wrong keys. Back panel main and true. That is our proportions. In fact, I'll call it, yeah, we'll just call it true. I'll know what that means. Alright, so now that has a naming convention that works, and I can search for it. So hide selection, and then this is image plane mockup. Alright, so now that can be hit. Hide that guy. Alright, now that was our original proportions, that green box you're seeing there. As you can see, we had to go much bigger than that, as you know. This is something that is just a marker for my use. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And selection. Okay. So, I was thinking that maybe we could do like a hole or something over here, so that, but it doesn't need to be there. Really, it doesn't. So this guy, let's see what we got here. That's a tube. So I'll go ahead and get, oops. So what happens when you got 3D snaps on it, starts snapping everywhere. Alright. Now I just make that a little higher. Oops, we got instances going. Alright, so we copy that. And set it up as a copy. This is host, we'll say host 1, and we'll call that light stand. Alright, and this will be host 2 popcorn. So, host 2 popcorn at this point is almost 46 inches tall. And like I said, that would go straight into the theater, making it very strong, plus through the bottom of the base, which will make that even stronger. We'll have to just see. We talked about doing some stuff over in the front, so but don't forget there's a facade that leads out, but at this point I'm going to need to figure something out because we just don't have any room for the director's chair so much, so it's going to have to be skinnier or be not centered or something, or maybe we can move it back just a wee bit, because this condo here, although I like its proportions, could be a little bit smaller. Or maybe we can just sort of move this megaphone just a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give you another quick little overview on this thing. Top view so far. Side view. Back view. With a see-through back panel. And that's where we're at currently. I didn't make the handle for this yet because that's really not something I need to do immediately for blockout. But, you know, I'm really kind of going a little bit above and beyond on this, in that, what do you call it, alright, this one I'm deleting because that's the old one, and this one I can modify, and it won't affect the other. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and and put this in a wireframe so I can see what's going on here. Actually, better yet, put it back in the smooth highlight and just simply put that in X-ray mode. Alright, now we go with this one, and alright, so it's going to be about right there. Actually, that's not enough, so let's take that out of X-ray. And that's going to go up just a wee hair. Alright, so it's going to end up being 0.3, let's say. So 33 1/3. Yeah, let's go with a half. That way there. It's big enough. It's perfect. Alright, so there we have it. And for this to look cool, kind of tired. I woke up kind of early today. Plus I'm a little bit under the weather. I caught something from a friend of mine. I don't like that look that it has here, where it's just kind of like melding in. So it's really going to be a ring. You know, it'll be like an actual donut that connects these side flange things. And also, where these attach here will be circular, just like it's a rotational thing that tilts the light. And that way there will have a simulation of it looking like you can rotate it on its stand and pan, you know, whatever you call that, like yaw or whatever, where you can tilt the light up and down. Of course, these visors will not be something that are movable, because that would just be way too ridiculous. It's already going to be a pain enough, excuse me, as it is. Just making it so that they're there and stable and carpeted and looking good. So there you have it. That's where we're at currently. So I'm going to need to send you out an invoice so I can buy materials. And also I'm doing this trade show, and I have not purchased my booth yet. And that is a very big problem. So where we're at now is 500, so I need to collect $1,000. And then we'll be at the halfway point. Okay? That will leave me $775 to get the booth, plus $250, which is plenty for materials and so forth, buying the plywood I need, buying the pattern making materials, and then I'm going to start going to town on this thing, finishing the model, making it complete and ready to take into pattern making mode. Once I'm in pattern mode and I'm making stencils for inlays and everything like that, then that's going to take a day or two. And then I'm going to start cutting out all the wood, all the sonotube, and getting all that put together. Once I get that going, of having it all ready as far as wood, then I'm going to send you out another invoice. So we'll be at $1,500 after today, and then once I get all of the patterns done and I got the wood maybe put together, I want to get another $500.